Okay, let me do a little recap. There you go. Talking about being balanced. 1 Peter 5. First Peter, like they say in San Fran, First Peter. You know, one of the things that, in fact, let me just read the whole thing. It says, "Be vigilant and cautious, for we have a lion roaming around in fierce hunger." You know, and that's a balance. You know, it's a balancing act, learning how to be balanced, sober mind, and also to acknowledge the lion in fierce hunger seeking to seize and devour. I mean, just even that, like that one passage, you know, you would probably need, 3 years of spiritual maturity to really understand how true that is. And, for example, let me show you something else. Talking about being balanced, talking about relationships, you know when a relationship is right for you, when it will enhance your life. There's a balance between making a relationship work and trying to make a relationship work, And so how do we do it? It's called maturity. It's called development. I mean, in this video, I'm going to talk about all kinds of things. I'm going to talk about, nature and talk about spiritual things, but also I want to talk about, the fierce lion that's in, and you're like, what? What's he talking about, fierce lion? Like, oh my goodness, is he going to talk about AI shit? Like, yeah, we'll talk about AI, talk about, just some of the things that I'm learning on this path. And, again, I smoke a lot of cannabis. So, just really interfacing in a very, very intimate way with spirit, with source, and whatever word you want to call it. I mean, even here it talks about, for example, it talks about, the lion in fierce hunger. Fierce hunger. You're like, I believe, for example, we could talk, I think one of the things that that I'm most concerned about in these videos is speaking to so many different people who are so reflexive in what they'll accept. Like, for example, for some people, if I literally just say the word Jesus, they're done. For some people, if I talk about MRA stuff, that offends women because, there's this old belief that if you want balance or equality between genders, that somehow you hate women. And, for some people, if I want to talk to the church and talk about, bring more of a prophetic stance on things versus a pastoral, stance. And, for some people, they don't even really like the word pastor. Some people don't like the word, prophet. When we talk about prophet, you're like, is this PROFIT? What are we doing here? And, just even literally talking about, for example, in every church there should be a pastoral voice, and that's a voice of comfort. And then in another aspect, there's the prophet voice, and inherently within any church, there is a hard balance between the two, because the prophetic voice is often against the pastoral voice, and there's a balancing act, much like the Golden Gate Bridge has two towers, and they're supposed to stand in harmony. And if there's discord between the pastoral voice and the prophetic voice, then that's where we have crazy. And so it's really, it's a hard balance. And then also I want to talk about political things, and even some business things, some things I want to talk about with business. And, so, for me, let me kind of give you a little bit of one of the things that's hard about one of the balances that I'm having a hard time is, for one, the more that my hands are on a mobile device, the more I'm hooked into Facebook, the more I'm hooked into technology, the more I'm hooked into just literally like taking a meditative walk with my phone. I capture so many things that I want to share, but at the same point, I'm not feeding my own. I'm not so much present with my God, with my source. So there's a balance even in these videos about wanting to share so much, and then at the same time, I also want to take a lot of time for my own personal journey, my own personal healing. And sometimes I want to make you laugh, sometimes I want to make you think, sometimes I want you to see some like really, really disturbing things. Like, for example, and go to my Twitter and look at Fibonacci, and you'll notice that I'm in San Francisco, one of my favorite cities in the world, and there's about 7 or 8 yoga moms doing like yoga stroller, soccer coach yoga, and like 8 feet from him, from this pack of chicks, is just a homeless guy that was heart-wrenching to see. And to go, holy fuck, what the fuck is up with our country in that homelessness out there? And just again, people will hear that as a voice of judgment. I'm like, no, go to Twitter and like look at my Fibonacci and notice there's a pack of chicks just hanging out with this homeless guy, and they're literally singing happy birthday to somebody, and I was like, wow, holy fuck, we'll treat animals better than we treat humans. In fact, we'll treat just look at your Facebook and just look at how, all this compassion and empathy people want you to have for animals, which I'm for, but while at the same time, look at how we treat African Americans. Look at the African American unemployment. Who's talking about that? And that's where I've kind of said, well, I guess I'm going to do that and use the power of the internet, and maybe I'll just be an independent journalist, and maybe I'll just call myself a journalist and really try to do my own reporting and go, dude, let's really look at some of this shit, and let's look at the fact that we no longer have, two people we don't have a political party that has two people anymore. We have one political party that basically has two faces, and there's nothing more ridiculous than these elections and how we're riveted with all the theater of elections, while at the same time our country is going to hell in a handbasket. And again, look at the unemployment rate. And then if you really want to get funny with it, you want to see some real cray-cray, look at how the government manipulates the unemployment number, and you're like, holy shit, we might have a 25% unemployment rate. And then among African Americans, I mean, look at these numbers. And we have an African American president. And again, there's so many things that I want to talk about in these videos, from spiritual, where God is the one mind, and receiving messages from the one mind and sharing those messages, to political stuff. And then and then at the same time, I'm kind of a wannabe comic, and I see a lot of just ridiculous out there I want to share. So anyway, just wanted to kind of be a little bit more personal and just say, hey, at the end of the day, I don't care what you call me, just call me Jonathan. You guys have a great day. Seek balance in your own life. There's something I said in here that resonated with you, let me know. All right, because you know what they say, one of the hardest balances between truth and love. One of my favorite quotes, I'll kind of close on this. One of my favorite quotes is, truth without love is a weapon, but love without truth is hypocrisy. And you can even reverse it, say, love without truth is hypocrisy, and then you can say, love without truth, or truth without love, is a weapon. And again, even in that, one of my favorite quotes, there's so much, it's such a hard balance to maintain. So anyway, I'm going to go back for my walk. I'm going to get rid of this technology a little bit, go get something to eat, go have a great day. Go be light and love to somebody. Americana417 @gmail.com. Be well balanced.